It's been a while since I did the last seasonal anime video. I wonder when the next season starts. Fuck. Springtime is here. After the long months of being stuck inside because of the code, you can once again remember that you're actually stuck inside due to a pandemic. Though, let's be honest, you weren't leaving your house before anyway. So, instead of focusing on that, we should talk about the spring 2021 anime lineup. We have another mammoth of a season this time, but at the very least, it doesn't seem like it's going to be as stacked as the last season was. Don't get me wrong, I love last season, but there was just too much stuff to watch. Thankfully, a lot of it either started as shit or quickly became shit. That made keeping up with a few great shows much easier. These anime are in no particular order, just whatever I felt like talking about. Alright, first off we have I Shaved, Then I Brought a High School Girl Home. Anime was a mistake. Okay, this title is a bit strange, but it is based off of a light novel, and compared to a few of the other titles I've seen before, this one's sounding pretty normal. Though I do worry about the age difference between the characters and the fact that this is being labeled as a romance. It's being animated though, so I'm sure it'll be fun. The studio animating it is Project Number 9. They did bottom tier character Tomazaki last season, which I enjoyed. But I know this name for something else. Wait a minute. Well, at least it can't be worse than Redo of Healer. Combatants Will Be Dispatched is the next series, and it's being done by JC staff, who have also done great shows like Toradora, Bakuman, and Konosuba, which are some of my favorites, so I trust them to make good anime. Though the art shown in the edgy tag make me a bit worried that this may be just some power fantasy trash. But I mean, they made Konosuba work, so I'll be willing to give it a try. Seven Knights Revolution is being done by Domerica and Leiden Films. Leiden Films has done several animes that I enjoyed, but Domerica only has a few anime to their name. Adding on to the fact that this is based on a video game, and I think this is a clear skip for me. For those interested though, it has the tags of action and fantasy. The Saint's magic power is Omnipotent. It's being done by Dio Media. This is a series I've really been looking forward to since I found out it was getting an anime. It's based off a light novel that I have yet to read, but I do enjoy reading its manga, so this is going to be a watch for me, even before I get to the studio. Dio Media has nothing that really sticks out in my head except for Problem Children Are Coming From Another World, aren't they, which I really enjoyed. So I'm hoping this one also turns out good. Card Fight Vanguard Overdress is another card fight anime. So if you like the series, you're going to be watching it, and if not, I'm sure you're already on to the next chapter. That being said, I'm not going to watch it. Megalobox 2 is being done by TMS Entertainment. I've never watched the first season, but it is one of the anime that I've been wanting to go back and watch. And the fact it's getting a second season is even more of a reason. So maybe I'll catch up on it. It uses some cool techniques to make it seem like it's an older anime, even though it only aired just a few years ago. And it's about boxing. What is there not to enjoy? Okay, I don't know how to say this one. I'm just gonna call him the Roman Fighter. Is being done by Bandai Namco Pictures, the same studio that did Gintama and recently have been doing the Welcome to Demon School Iramakun. So it's a good studio. It is also based off of a manga which I think has been releasing since November 28th of 1997. Though in 2009 it seems to have pulled a Shippuden and changed its name, but maybe it's different. I don't know. The synopsis on Mal is the same for both, so I'm just gonna assume it's a sequel / continuation. Though I know nothing of the series, but I think I'll give it the good old 3-episode try. The next one is 8686. So wait, is 86 the name and the subtitle? Okay, I'll just have it as 86, no subtitle. Oh, and look. It's being done by A1 Pictures. Plus, it seems like it's going to have an interesting story. There's a war between two nations that are using unmanned drones, but in fact, at least one of them is being ran by people. It is just that the people are from the 86 territory, and the nation doesn't consider them actually people. So, that explains the name. I'm going to give this one a try as well. Odd Taxi is being produced by OLM and PICS? Pix? I've never heard of them. But OLM has made a couple shows I liked, and they even did Berserk. The 1997 version, not the more recent one. So, it could be good. Plus, since Beastars was so good, I've been giving these animal shows more of a chance. though the art style does seem to point that this show is for children. If I'm wrong about that though, I'll be giving it a shot. The next series is I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. I've read some of the manga for this series, so I was not surprised when I saw it was getting an anime, and I even plan on watching it, but the studio, Raveroot, have not really made that many shows yet. Though the one show they did do, Babylon, seems like it was fun, even if I haven't watched it myself. So this show should be good if the studio can produce good quality work, and if not, it still might be worth watching just because of how cute the source material can be. Alright, well, we got another long name here. I'm convinced these light novel authors are just trying to kill me. So, we got Full Dive. The ultimate next-gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real life. Light novel authors. Speaking to you directly right now. This is a message from everyone else on the planet. Use shorter titles. You don't need to give your whole synopsis as your title name. Make it short. Simple. That's all I got to do. Anyway, this anime is being done by Enji, which has only released 2 other shows, both of which I have watched. One of them's Uzaki-chan, and the source is strange, and that show was so. And despite Kimono Michi's source also being strange, I really enjoyed that show a fair amount. So maybe this show will also be enjoyable. Though to be honest, it just seems like a generic video game power fantasy. Your classic nerd with no friends starts playing a VR MMO, and suddenly, despite their personality being less interesting than cardboard, the woman's panties end up wetter than the Pacific Ocean. Basically, SAO. Okay, there's a few shows on this list that I'm definitely not watching, so let's just get through these. Duel Masters King, clearly a kid's show and a ripoff of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bakugan Jogan Rising, kid's show and just more Bakugan. Gloomy the Nanti Grizzly, Mazika Party, Mukel Dreamy Mix, Moto, Majimen, Ni, Fumajime, Keiketsu, Zorori, 2nd season. No English for that one, which is pretty strange. Okay, time for a bit more order in this list. I'm going to be doing the sports anime, which I've never really been that much of a fan of. I watched a few, Kuroko no Basket, Baby Steps, Hajime no Ippo, but I don't really have much interest in them, so I'm just gonna speed run these as well. So this one is Bakuten by Studio Zex. Looks like this centers on a high school's gymnastic team, so basically free without the water. Next we have Battle Athletes Victory by 7. Looks like this one is an all-girls one in which athletes are gathered from around the galaxy to compete in a tournament. I think this might just be a reskin of the last arc of Dragon Ball Super. Goodbye Kramer by Leiden Films is about high school soccer? The story premise sounds a lot like Haikyuu, so might be worth watching. Burning Kabaddi by TMS Entertainment is another high school basketball anime. This may be good, but if you're looking for high school basketball anime, I recommend Kuroko no Basket. It doesn't get more hype than that. And because these are basically the same thing in my head, I'm gonna be moving from sports anime to club anime. Those Snow White Notes by Shin A Animation. In this one, the main character plays a traditional Japanese stringed instrument, but for some reason this show gives me the same vibes as another anime, which I have wrote down, but I'm gonna have to read it off if you want me to be anywhere near correct on the pronunciation. The anime is Chihaya Furu. It should be on screen right now. It for some reason gives me the vibes of that show, so it might be worth watching. Next we have Pretty Boy Detective Club, and it's being done by Studio Shaft, which has done amazing anime. The name though makes me think of Bungo Stray Dogs. Anyway, it's a comedy sci-fi mystery, might be worth checking out. Super Cub is being done by Studio Kai. It looks like a cute girl slice of life type of anime, this one being about motorcycles, so these are normally pretty relaxing to watch. Let's Make a Mug 2 is being done by Nippon Animation. It looks like a cute girl slice of life type of anime, this one being about making pottery. These are normally pretty relaxing to watch. Some deja vu there. Alright, I think that's all the club anime, so now let's do sequels and any anime I let fall through the crack. Blue Reflection Ray by JC Staff looks like a magical girl show, but they're using swords for some reason. I gotta say, magical girl anime has really changed since Madoka, and I'm really feeling it. Never watched any of it, but I think it looks way more interesting. Next show is Fairy Rameru, then a lot of Japanese I don't want to butcher. It's being done by Studio Comment. Looks like one of the seasonal trash Fujoshi bait anime, so I'll be skipping this one. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Omega by Tezuka Productions and Okuruto Noboru. It's the second season of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, and I have to say, sadly, I watched the first season. I'll also be watching this season, but if you have not watched it yet and are thinking about starting it, then let me say this. Don't. This is a trash show and it's a waste of your time. I'll watch it because I'm a trash collector. Stuff has happened in this show that I think I should go to prison for, just for seeing it, so it's not worth your time. It's Too Sick to Call This Love. Kyokimo? I don't know if that's part of the name, but it's on mouse, so I'm gonna say it. It's being done by Nomad. I might give this one a shot. It's been a while since I've watched a rom-com anime. Sure hope there's nothing super strange about it. Oh, just your typical adult man trying to date a high school girl. Mars Red by Signal MD looks like it has an interesting idea. Military historical vampire show? Throwing some Nazis and you basically have Hellsing. I'm in. The rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose is being done by Doga Koba. Must be based off a light novel. That name is way too specific to be anything else. Another rom-com, but based off the name, I feel like this one's trying to be a parody of the genre as a whole, so it might be a fun watch. Shadow's House by Cloverworks really gives me season 1 of Promised Neverland vibes. It follows a living doll as it works in a mansion for its mysterious masters. This looks like it could be a quite tense show to watch, and I think I'm going to give it a try. But I'm sure it'll just end up on my long list of what to watch. Next we have SSSS Daisanon. It's being produced by Trigger and is another one of Trigger's mecha anime. If you don't know who Trigger is or what mecha is, then this show is not for you. And if you do know, then you already know if you're going to be watching this one. Personally, this is going to be a hard no for me. The World Ends With You, the animation by Shinei Animation and Domerica. I feel like these guys already came up once, but whatever. This anime ends with the words, the animation, which tells me something I already know from looking at the description. This is based off a video game, and anime based off video games tend not to do well, so this is going to be a skip for me. Tokyo Revengers by Leiden Films honestly looks really interesting. Though being that it's an action shonen, not really that surprising. I find it interesting. I know nothing about this series other than what the synopsis says, but I think I'll be giving this show a good 3-episode try. Moriarty the Patriot, Part 2 is being done by Production IG. I've never heard of the first season that aired last year, but the name makes me think it has something to do with Sherlock Holmes. So if you're a fan of the books, this might be a series worth catching up on. This has been a really long video for me, but we're finally down to the last 12 shows. Damn, I thought I was almost done. Okay, lightning round for the ones I really don't want to talk about. That is not to say these aren't great shows. I promise. Everything left is either a top tier show, or in the case of a slime anime, related to one. First off, Thunderbolt Fantasy Season 3. Okay, this one's completely different than any anime you've ever seen, but it's still awesome. Recommended. Zombieland Saga Revenge is a follow-up to the best idol show ever made. Fight me, Macross fans. The Slime Diaries, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, seems like it's a spin-off. So, while it's not going to advance the story, it hopefully will be funny to watch. It's probably only worth watching though if you've seen the show. Fruits Basket, the final. I watched some of the original Fruits Basket. So, it's strange seeing the show now, but for all you fans, seems like the story is finally going to wrap up. Eden Zero, and honestly I thought about putting this one with the sequels because of how much it looks like Fairy Tail. It's done by the same author as Fairy Tail, but the difference about this one is it's in space. Shaman King, this is another old anime that's getting a new series, and I'll be watching this one as soon as it's out of Netflix jail. My Hero Academia, Season 5. My Hero Academia seems like it's both a new series and something that's been airing for 20 years. It just will not disappear. And last of the quick ones, welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun Season 2. I left this one out of the sequels list along with My Hero just because of how popular they are. I gotta keep people watching till the end of the video. Am I right, guys? Alright, last 3. Please Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro by Telecom Animation Film. I read the manga for this series and I really enjoy it. It's a cute slice of life rom-com about a shy art club member and his teasing kohai. Though, I'll be honest, I think Nagatoro's teasing is way too much at the start of the series. But it becomes more friendly as the series goes on, and this is certainly a show I'll be watching. To Your Eternity by Brainspace follows a boy wandering the Arctic regions of North America who meets a wolf. They become friends and start surviving together. This anime just looks so nice. There is, of course, more to the story than what I said, but I can't wait to start watching this. Also, a bit strange, but this is a 20-episode anime. I hope that means they plan on finishing the whole story from the manga. I haven't read it, as I said, so I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm hoping that means. And lastly, Vivi Florente A's Song by Wit Studio. I butchered that name, and I think it's in English, which is not great. This one's about an AI entertainer that encounters another AI who says they're from the future and have come back to stop a war that takes place in 100 years between humans and AI. I'm a pretty big computer nerd, so I just eat up any smart AI-based story, so I'm really hoping this show's good. Alright, that is all the anime coming out this season. I'm sorry for being so late on this video. Thanks for watching.